Hello conscripts. Warhammer Commander is about to officially launch, so I'd like to share some thoughts on it. First off, I like Warhammer 40K. I like it quite a lot actually. But this crossover with Magic, I wouldn't go as far as calling it jarring, but
Emperor protects.
As you were, soldiers.
ma'am, yes ma'am, I like this crossover. The regiment likes this crossover. This crossover is the best thing ever. 10 out of 10 would crossover again. Now, let's proceed. This is my deck tech. There are many deck techs like it, but this one is mine. I chose Commissar Severina Raine as the only commander out of the set that I'm going to build around, as she represents the value of the Imperium to the fullest. The deck focuses on attacking with Severina and the team, protecting the team with the Emperor's blessing, drain the life out of any Xenos or traitorous filth, and if needed, restore morale accordingly. We start off with our creatures, who are the first, last, and often only line of defense the Imperium has against what is out there. Green players, infinite turns, and the worst of the worst, combo players. The majority of the creatures do double duty, either by summoning tokens upon attacking or entering the battlefield, or by offering serious combat benefits such as indestructibility, pumps, and combat damage prevention. Whenever Adeline Resplendent Kata attacks, she creates a tapped and attacking 1/1 creature token for each of our opponents. Hero of Bladecoat and Leonine Warleader create two 1/1 of those tokens that can be assigned at will, with the former providing a nice battlecry effect. Brimus, King of Orescus, creates one of those tokens, but his effect also applies when he is used for defense. Other creatures with on-attack or attack-related triggers include Grave Titan, for the sheer value that he produces, Company Commander, who gives our regiment Death Touch, Frontline Medic, who gives Indestructible, Joanna, Liberator of Malakir, who if left unblocked puts 1/1 counter on each attacking creature we control, and Primaris Chaplain, who gives the regiment his Battlecry bonus, while he himself gains Indestructible. Last but not least comes Odric Master Technician, who lets us dictate how blocking goes, and this includes making our army unblockable, as long as we fulfill his condition to attack with 3 or more creatures. A neat trick we can do with him is to assign an important or squishy creature, such as a commander or mana dog, to a blocker and eliminate it with ease. Coming up next are some creatures that make tokens when they enter the battlefield, such as Captain of the Watch, that is also an anthem for our soldiers, Evangel of Heliod, a Reverend Hoplite, who make tokens based on our devotion to white, Heliod Spirit Keeper, who makes tokens upon dying based on the number of creature cards in our graveyard, and Ceremony Protector, who makes 1/1 tokens whenever we cast or play a card that shares a card type with the one he exiled. Defiler of Faith is a new card that can help us cheat mana cost by paying life for each white mana pip, and whenever a white permanent spell is being cast, we get to make a 1/1 token. God Eternal Catra on the other hand makes solid 4/4 zombies whenever we cast a creature spell and has a solid body. Some other more toolboxy creatures include Generous Enforcer that can exile a card from a graveyard and make a token, but also gives our legendary creatures indestructible. Bravo of the Steel Legion has an activated ability to make tokens, but more importantly pumps our existing ones by +1/+4 as long as it's our turn. Twin Champion of Freedom makes a token on the other turn as long as we have attacked, and attacking is what we do here. Up the Adrian Golden Sword can exile our board as an incoming board wipe protection, but we can also sack it to draw a card with Severina and basically double our troops. Lastly, Keeper of the Accord that works as a catch-up mechanism by making tokens and ramping us at the end of each opponent's hand step, as long as they control more creatures or lands than us. The creature section is closed off by 2 anthem effects with additional upside. Elesh Norn Grand Cenobite, that also doubles as a mini board wipe / shrink ray for our opponent's creatures, and General Kudro of Dranith, that pumps humans, but also keeps opponents' graveyards nice and clean, with the third upside of sacrificing 2 tokens and paying 2 mana to destroy a creature with part 4 or greater. General commands: to Guardsman charge, a Carniflex dice, fair trade. I'll also mention the two planeswalkers I decided to include here. Elspeth Sun's Champion that can make 3 tokens on a plus and destroy all creatures with 4 or more attack on a minus, and Liliana Dreadhorde Generous who provides so much value. A passive that can draw a solid amount of cards, a plus that makes zombies, and a minus that can be devastating to our decks. The most important artifacts are the ones that give protection or evasion, either for Severina or the entire army. Those include Dolman Gate, which provides combat damage prevention, Whisper Silk Cloak, Key to the City, and Prowler's Helm makes Severina unblockable, letting her attack with impunity. To a certain extent that applies to her Power Spear, Godsend, that provides solid buff and an additional effect that exiles a blocking creature before damage. So it essentially makes blocking her with the intention to kill very costly. 3 other artifacts deserve special mention. Lithoform Engine and Psionic Resonator can double her on attack trigger, making opponent lose even more life than initially expected, and possibly even knocking someone down. I was conflicted on the third one, between Throne of the Cold Pharaoh and Oketra's Monument, but settled on the latter as I felt there were quite a lot of creatures with Vigilance or Vigilance type effects, and it could have been a huge number. The Monument on the other hand is always good, since most of our creatures are white, and because it makes each creature we play come with an extra 1/1 token. Skull Clamp is also here for the solid card draw potential that it usually provides in most token decks. The rest of the artifacts are mana rocks, with some expected additions: Arcane Signet, Orzhov Signet, Soul Ring, Talisman of Hierarchy, and the Celestus.
All of these artifacts are sanctioned for use by both Adeptus Ministorum and Adeptus Mechanicus. The Emperor protects.
Similar to the artifact section, the enchantments in the deck complement the general strategy, with some protecting Severina or the army, such as Agent of the Shadow Thieves, that gives her a +1/+1 counter, Death Touch and Indestructible on attack, and Reconnaissance that save our tokens from dying due to blocks, and if they are unblocked, basically gives them Vigilance. Enchantments complementing the token strategy are Anointed Procession, Bitter Blossom, and Legion's Landing, while Bastion of Remembrance makes blocking or bone wiping our army a painful experience. Other enchantments work with our own attack triggers, such as Veteran Soldier, Malicious Sprite, and Rubber Rousing, with each making either already attacking tokens or doubling the number of our creatures. Lastly are 3 Anthem effects: Wedding Announcement, which can also draw cards or make tokens, Cutter's Crusade, and Call for Unity, which kills with each turn and each fallen soldier. Instant and sorceries are mostly separated in 3 categories: removal, protection, and token making. For the first I chose Anguish Unmaking, Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, and Heliod's Intervention as targeted removal, and Austere Command and Martial Coup as mass removals. For protection I picked Flawless Maneuver because 3 spells are OP, Unbreakable Formation for utility and flavor, and Deny the Witch Rebuff the Wicked, because if I'm making it, even mono-white decks will run counter spells. Lastly I settled on Finale of Glory, White Sun Zenith and Secure the Waste for their token making potential, and Launch the Fleet for its obvious synergy with our commander and overall strategy. The most notable lands are Castle Ardenvale that make tokens, Maze of It as an extra layer of protection for Severina or to deter attackers, and Rogue's Passage to make Severina unblockable. The rest of the banner base can be built according to one's preferences and budget limits, and is the standard for Orzhov deck. Well, this is the deck I came up with for Commissar Severina Raine. I was worried initially, but I think it turned out quite well, especially for a predominantly white deck. I hope that you find this video enjoyable, and that it will be useful for you when you build your own decks. Cheers!